What is going on, fam? Welcome to R Smooth Club Season 2. Season 2, man. Your favorite crew is back, bringing on some deep discussions, man. So much stuff has happened. Yeah, we're back. We're back and better than ever. As you see, we got some new features going on. We got a new setup. As you see, you got the ball over here. That's where my stimulus check went to. Look like the whole stimulus check right there.
Stimmy 99. Got you.
Basically. What else has happened? We are. Oh, for people that are watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe, like button, all that good stuff. If you're listening to us on all major podcast platforms, I'm talking about Spotify, Apple, Radio Public, Google, all those platforms. Follow us, and we truly appreciate it. Leave a comment, all that good stuff. Yeah, we got our feet wet last season. I know I was telling JJ earlier, man. I was drowning. It was a little nerve wracking, with the lights and everything. But it was a lot of fun because I had my boys with me. We talked on some great things. We talked about racial discrimination. We talked about just discrimination in general. We talked about whether collegiate athletes should start receiving pay. We talked about what else? We talked about would reality TV still be as popular if it promoted more of a positive message rather than the ratchet ones they have going on right now. We talked about it all. But yeah, we're excited to be back. So much stuff has happened since the last time we sat. We pre-recorded the shows in 2020, like around the holidays. We finished up. A lot has happened in 2021. So first of all, let me introduce my fellow co-host back for season 2. Over here to my left, this man has modeled for all the top heavy hitters in the fashion industry. He is now busy going around the world. Promoting his amazing custom suit collection titled the Dapper Luke Collection. I'm a huge fan of it. He's been taking all my money ever since he started it. But hey, I got support my man, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dapper Luke.
Thank you. Really excited about back and looking forward to this season.
Awesome. And over here to my right, this man has been my bro since 3rd grade, and I'm so proud of him. He's added a new title to his name, and that is business owner. He is the founder of Eternal, which is a clothing brand helping to bring awareness to mental health, something that we all need to discuss as men and just, for the culture. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jonathan Jones.
Thank you, man. Glad to be back. Ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, I'm excited to have all you guys here. Oh, and I'm Arrington Gavin, founder and CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. First of all, fellas, how's everything going? How's, business and stuff going? I'm going to start with you, Luke. How's everything going?
Overall, business is great. 2020 was definitely a time to really learn and truly understand. And we had the conversation before. If you didn't like what you were doing in 2020, that was definitely the time to make your exit strategy. So 2021, I'm still doing it, so I must love it. I absolutely do. And looking forward to what I'm trying to do in 2021. Travel, continue to grow the brand, and get as much exposure as we can. So I'm loving it.
Awesome. What about you, Jay?
Launch was really good, man. Definitely better than I expected. And we're moving steadily. And I just love just creating ideas, new shirts, new promotions. I love that.
I see you rocking. I see you rocking some gear right now.
This season I had to bring it out. So yeah.
Well, man, I'm happy for you, man. I think so much stuff has happened since let's backtrack a little bit. We start off electing the first ever female vice president, first vice president of color. We elected the oldest president. I talked to my boy Joe Biden, tripping up the steps, just again, we got to always chuckle, about it. And at his age, tripping up those stairs, man, that's you gotta take it easy, bud. You gotta take it easy. It was windy, but you gotta take it easy up them steps, Joe. Stop, like you said, what'd you say, Rocky?
He got up to the top and was doing a little Rocky celebration.
But yeah, we saw that. We witnessed Tom Brady earn his 7th Super Bowl ring. The man it was a regular game for him because it was his 10th appearance at the Super Bowl in a 20-year career.
Home field advantage too. Wow.
Yeah. What team they play again too?
The Chiefs.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh, that's your team. That's right.
O-line's crucial.
So we saw that, but we also had to, witness the stupidity of, what happened at the Capitol with, people going ham. As much as, not everybody's a fan of politics, doesn't mean you got to go Olympus Has Fallen and start jumping over walls, cracking, glass windows.
Falling off the walls
too, trying to get that foot slipping. It was sad, man. It was truly sad. But look, I want to kind of go into the discussion because I kind of want to go back to that insurrection. I want to talk about cancel culture, the whole cancel culture movement. Do you think it's necessary? I mean, as in our society, should we accept it? Should we be like, why is it even in existence? Like, what's going on?
I think cancel culture is one of those things that really truly exists because of social media, right? Cancel culture, in my opinion, you got to ask what exactly is cancel culture, right? So cancel culture, does that mean that we stop following this person on social media? In the case of, the former administration, they stopped him from having a voice on certain social media platforms.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop his voice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we kind of get wrapped up in order for you to have a voice, you have to be on one of these social media platforms. But that is definitely not the case with that. He can go get a camera anytime and be on half these, cable networks. He doesn't necessarily need that platform. So overall, people should be held accountable when they do things or they say things that are gonna, trigger a reaction. But if we truly understand that individual, you canceling them is not going to stop their message, not going to stop them. And to be honest with you, we live in a country where those people, we said they can have a voice, whether we like it or not. Everyone wants to, essentially, if we cancel it, he goes away. And that's not the case. He's still going to be here. He's still going to be around. So simply just canceling someone on a social media platform does not make them go away.
Well, agreed. But he did. The reason why they canceled him is because for what had happened at the Capitol. Let's be real. He's been
correct. He's been talking that way.
The person we're talking about is Trump. He
Yes.
has spoken on a lot of stuff before he was in office, while he was in office.
Correct.
He was never
That's
canceled.
how he built his brand. Pretty
Absolutely.
much.
That's how.
This charismatic businessman. I can say what I want to say. I can do what I want to do, and people just love the Trump brand, whether we like it or not.
He continued his character. He continued
Correct.
his character. What we saw in The Apprentice and brought it into office, and it even built up even more now. Again, because of what had happened with the insurrection, that is, in my view, why, of course, social media had took that, because they're like, oh my gosh, if he said something else, what else is going to lead to? So that's why I think most social media platforms had banned him. Now, in my view, as much as I don't agree with them, I just first assumed that, social media was a platform for freedom of speech. People can say what they want whenever they want. Hey, if you like it, good. You can
Yes
follow him.
and
If you don't
no.
like it,
But social media in and of itself really could care less what you as the individual has to say. Social media is a giant business platform, right? It collects gobs and gobs of data with the intent to sell it to businesses that want to get to you and me, the common consumer. That's what social media is all about. Now, people get on there, and the one thing that people kind of mistake is people always think, people that follow me or my friends on social media always have the same mentality as me. But when you're at such a high level, the people that are listening to you may or may not agree with what you're saying. But I do agree. Anyone should be able to get on there and say what they want to say. Whether I like it or not, I can choose not to listen to them. But with that same note, if they are saying things that are leading towards, the insurrection, violence among people, going out and committing a crime, right? Where is the accountability? Is it the people that are going to do it, or is it the people that told you to go do it? That's where you kind of get, this gray area.
And we all could agree on, words do matter, right?
Yes, I agree.
Words do matter. For what had happened with, with Trump, every public figure, they know their audience. So whether if he says something that his audience reacted in that way, in a sort of way, he knows how they're going to react if he says certain words. I mean, let's be real. I mean, everybody knows their audience. If I say one thing to do, they're going to be like, okay, he said it, so let's do it. Now, again, with the cancel culture, he is coming from entertainment. I think personally, but
he was business before entertainment.
Well, not that good, but he was.
No, he's very good. He's very good.
So
I mean, you tell me something you put Trump on, it doesn't sell. Anything you put Trump on, it's going to sell. Well, how long it's going to sell, but it's going to sell.
That's true. It might have hurt him now, but I mean, if you put his face on something now, I mean, is it going to make as much as it did back?
Yes, absolutely. Probably more. Probably more.
More?
Trump.
Okay.
Who's not going to buy Trump? You and me? They don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? His core audience is buying more Trump stuff now than they ever did before.
I mean, again, he's president, so obviously you got a point there because he got elected. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, for entertainers, comedians, I think they should have a license to say what they want. But
finish that. I got something for you.
Okay, so I think when you hit a certain platform, when you hit a certain position, he took a political position. As much as people can say, well, he's not a politician. He's not a politician. Look, after the first year, buddy, you're a politician now. You're officially a politician. So if you can continue to say stuff as when you were an entertainer, you can get that passed because, people are more open when it comes to entertainment. Now, you're taking on a public office representing the whole United States. You got to be, like you said, be accountable.
You need to be, a lot of what people, and I know you got a question, DJ, you were to say, but just simply the way I feel it is some people's thing was he just did not seem very presidential, right? You know, and that's perception of what presidential is. But like I was saying, before The Apprentice, before the Trump brand has been around since the 80s, you know, and so in my opinion,
well, with the start of his father, then
that's even further back.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm talking about him, but his father was never a celebrity.
No,
the celebrity Trump became with Donald Trump, and he's got two other brothers people don't even talk about. Donald is the most famous Trump of the Trumps, right? But yeah, the money came from their father, you know, buying up properties in New York, things of that nature. But I just think, regardless of what we think about Trump's still selling. You put Trump name on something, it's going to sell. Whether we cancel him or not, he ain't going nowhere.
Well, no, I heard that he's starting like his own media platform now, so. You know,
and it's probably going to sell.
I mean, absolutely, it's probably going to sell.
Well, that plane isn't selling now that he left at the airfield. That Trump plane, that big old 747, that's sitting there.
That is true.
But so another aspect of cancel culture. So YG. I'm gonna get rapper.
Dab your phone, your phone. I'm messing with you, man.
YG, about almost 10 years ago, he had a song called "Meet the Flockers," which is about like, because like Asian people stereotypes, they don't believe in bank accounts, so they keep all their money in a safe in their house, and it's a song talking about the process of them going to Asian neighborhoods and taking, like, robbing the safes, robbing their houses because they don't believe in bank accounts, and it was like a small little short 2-minute song, and now with all this Asian racial stuff that's going on, the people who work at YouTube wrote to the CEO saying that you need to take his, because he had like a 30-minute movie and that part is in the thing, and so it's on YouTube and they wanted them to take it down, and YouTube like reviewed it and they're like, I mean, yeah, it's not really a good song obviously, but like
but they're like,
yeah, it's they're like it's artists what do you call it? Like he's speaking like of something that happened. So like that's his artistic ability is what I'm trying to say.
It shouldn't really get, you know.
Like they were really mad that they didn't take it off, which I mean, the song's been out for almost 10 years. Like nobody really said anything about it.
But now he's
like
bringing it back.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was saying like racial slurs. It was literally practically like Asian people don't believe in bank accounts, so we go to their house. Like you're in a gang, that's what your culture, you know.
Well, and just so, like another example too, like I ain't mean to cut you off, but like what is it? Meghan Markle, right? Meghan Markle, Prince Harry had this interview saying there was some discrimination going on in the palace, or I was about to say in the White House, but I forgot what they call it, Buckingham Palace or something. And Piers Morgan, who's a journalist out in England, spoke against it. They canceled him completely because he just.
No, not necessarily. So the Piers Morgan thing.
They kept on tossing out complaints saying, "Well, I don't like what he has to say," and so
do you know why Piers Morgan? Well, Piers Morgan is one that throughout Meghan Markle's time in the palace, he's always spoken negatively of her. Yeah, right. And the reason why he always speaks negatively of her was because he actually dated her. Right, they went on a date. Right.
Oh, I did hear about this. I didn't know it was a date.
They went on that date, and at the end of the night, she left that date and went to a party. Mm-hmm. And at the party she left, she met Prince Harry, and she went on to have a relationship with Prince Harry. So he's always held a grudge because she left him on a date and then went and met Prince Harry, and then she became. But in my opinion, hey, big up. You know what I'm saying?
Prince Harry, or look, I mean, and not that kind of way. I'm just saying.
So
I'm going royalty. I'm just saying I'm going
that thing. But the one thing that I wanted to hit on, what you kind of touched on, is I just find it kind of crazy how they always blame rap for negative things and what's going on, right? Well, I just watched the Justice League, right? And there's a scene in Justice League which is essentially a mass shooting situation where they go inside the bank. It's kids in there, they're shooting up everybody that goes through the lobby, right? And they go upstairs and they have all these kids in this huddle, and he's about to shoot everybody in the room, right? And Wonder Woman saves everybody, right? Why can I not say that just caused the mass shooting, right? But they'll never say it on a movie. James Bond going around and shooting everybody up. But at the minute a rap lyric says something about something, they go in, oh, it's because of rap lyrics. You know what I'm saying? But is it truly? Yeah. It's an artist's interpretation of what's going on around them, and they're speaking on it. but they don't see it the
And
same
to a
way
certain
in
to a certain
movies.
point, that's almost from an activism. What they're speaking is like, hey, this is what happened in the community.
They're telling it, and you can look at so many, people that have been actually sentenced off of what they say in rap lyrics, and a lot of times it's fictitious. It's not real. But the other side sees it as, oh, that must be their lifestyle. That's how they live. That's what they do.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Another thing is like him and his culture, they've known that. So just because you're from Nebraska or Connecticut and didn't know that, and now that somebody's speaking on it, you think it's something new and that it's gonna spike up. That just
they're not telling you to do it. They're speaking on what's already been done.
That's
What's
been
been
known.
happening.
What you got against
Exactly.
Nebraska and Connecticut? No, I'm joking. It was funny. Nebraska and Connecticut.
But yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. Like, overall, a lot of times what they're doing, they're just simply speaking on what's happening, whereas other people, they are creating something. And, if we act upon it, oh well. But if you act on a rap lyric, the rap lyrics, they told you to do it and they live in that lifestyle. And it's just different perceptions on that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, fellas, we might have to extend this for another episode, man, because obviously overlasting. Look, we'll be right back with our Smooth Club, the show where everyday men discuss everyday topics.
Rugged Evolution Beard Care is the hottest new beard care in the market. With 16 amazing scented balms and oils, you can choose which smell you want to try with our new sample balm and oil set, or use the mustache moisturizer and our new leave-in conditioner. Don't forget to add a wooden comb to glide through your beard without snagging. Check out our website at ruggedevo.com or call for a private consultation 855-848-3029. And remember, rugged is the new smooth.
Alrighty, welcome back to our Smooth Club, the show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. So, we kind of got into a few things, but now I want to kind of shift gears a little bit, gentlemen. And I want to talk about, sports. And not just sports, but two topics have really come up lately. And it's, should women, be allowed to participate in men's sports? Should men be allowed to participate in women's sports? And the question about equal pay, right? Like, what do you guys think about that?
Wait, first, are you talking about like transgender?
So, all right, I mean, that's a whole nother realm.
Yeah.
It enters into that,
Yeah.
right? So for me, I'm talking about, I know something that I commonly see is young women that'll do wrestling with young men, right? In my opinion, that should not be. I don't think a girl should wrestle a boy, right? Because in my opinion, it's lose-lose for the boy. If the girl wins, oh my goodness, I beat a boy. But if a boy wins, oh, you just beat a girl. Or if you beat her, you just beat a girl. So it's lose-lose for the boy. There's no way he can come out on top. But the girl can if she beats the boy.
If she beats
You know
him.
what I'm saying? And just in my opinion, when it comes to sports is one of those professions where your physical, natural ability is what, gives you an edge. And men have certain physical abilities that women do not have. So it doesn't matter, to me, it's not equal. It won't be equal in sports. You can do equal in other realms, in business and, in a health field, because that is knowledge and what you've learned, right? But in a sport that is strictly based off your physical ability, men will always have a natural advantage.
Now, when you say physical ability, do you mean strictly just strength or multiple, character?
Most. I
Okay.
mean, because, kind of, I think what JJ was going down with the whole transgender in sports, right? So now there's this thing in track where a lot of what we consider people who were born males, but, identify themselves as women, participating in women's track, women's tennis, and other things. And women are outraged that they're allowing these people to play because they're destroying the competition.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, they were born men, right? But they identify as women. So in my opinion, that shouldn't be either. I'm not saying
yeah,
that,
that ain't right. That ain't right.
But if we don't allow that, why do we allow some of the other sports things to happen as well? If we're going to completely separate it, keep it completely separate. And in my opinion, that's okay, because it is a profession that is based off your physical, right? And you can't change that. You know what I'm saying? And especially when they talk about adding, performance enhancing drugs, they're so, amped on that. And that's with the same sex, you know what I'm saying? So I just think, for me, I don't think the different, gender should mix when it comes to sports and competition. The only one that you can do it is maybe tennis doubles, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you have 1-on-1, So,
Well, I think maybe because I guess there's some NBA players like Kyrie, they're kind of being more active with the WNBA, and if for the All-Star weekend, maybe if they just had NBA versus WNBA, like 3-point shootout. Obviously, like you couldn't do like a dunk competition or anything, but just something like that, like some type of skills. Whereas like WNBA versus NBA, like that's what people want to see. And so like something like that would be more of an even playing field than like playing a 3-on-3. Like that's just
just a full season or in there, and even like football, no, negative.
But you know what? At this point, I'm like, hell, why not? Let them try. If they're gonna get embarrassed, and if they lose, then they suffer with that loss. I mean, to this point, I'm just saying because check this out. So a lady, Jennifer Welter, she's one of the coaches for Arizona. She coaches, I think, assistant coach for the linebackers. She actually played in a semi-pro. Now it was a semi-pro.
All women's.
No. It was a men's league.
The kicker?
No, she's not a kicker. She actually played running back. Now she's 5'2", 130. Pretty, she's diesel for her size.
And how many seasons did she play?
1 or 2. But I'm just saying. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying she competed.
This stuff matters.
No, but I'm saying I'm not talking about like stat wise. I'm saying did she compete? Did she last more than a game? Yes, she lasted more than a game.
But she did not.
But check this out.
She did not complete at the highest level.
She didn't. But
again, in my opinion, right, that was. So,
but are you now just talking about the NFL? Or are you saying
no? I don't think they competed at any level, right?
Okay.
But with that situation, right? Yes, she competed with men, but if you tell that story, it's a triumph story for the woman, right? Mm-hmm. Because she competed in an all-man's league.
Yeah.
But flip the coin, right? If it was an all-women's league and a man was in there tearing up the whole league, why is he in there with all them women, right? So. Yes, it's great for her because she's going against what is seen as the, David versus Goliath. This is the woman beating the men. But if you flip it around, it's not going to be the same story.
But at this point, all I'm saying is like, try it out. All I'm saying, I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Me and him were talking about another aspect, which I looked at it was specifically with like football. Is like the whole like sexual assault type thing.
Yeah, you brought a good point with that.
I remember when I was younger and I was watching like NFL documentaries and like the line we're talking about like some dudes be grabbing each other's nuts and anything to get like the upper hand or whatever. And I'm like, all you need is some dude to tackle the girl and she thinks she's getting felt the wrong way and like that would be a whole nother like.
Well, and then I was telling him too, like for example, if we're talking about like size wise. And it's only but a few. I will admit it's only but a few. But you see like Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson's probably like $160, maybe a little less than that. He's a wide receiver. He uses his speed to avoid getting hit because when he gets hit, he get crushed because he's a very. I'm serious. He's a tiny guy. So if you get somebody, I know again a female. Look at her. She's 130. If she was 5'4", I'm gonna just say 155. Just look at the size difference. I mean, it could. She maybe could. I'm just saying.
Well,
if she had the same speed as Deshaun Jackson. Luke, if she had the same speed.
If was a fifth, we'd all be rich, okay? She's not, right?
She's not, but I'm just why not?
But I'm just simply saying, in this scenario that you just brought up, it's always going to be a feel-good story because she competed against guys. It's always going to be a feel-good story. But I'm just looking at it from the guy's perspective. I just don't see a situation where you put a man in the WNBA and he's dunking all over the women. What is it going to be seen as? Why is that man playing against all them women? It will never be... It will never be seen in a good light. But if a woman does it, it's always, she's going against. And I get you. It is a great thing for a woman to do it, but I don't think it's fair. And the ones that disagree, I'll just simply say, let men run against y'all and, be
I never said I think it was fair. I'm just saying if they continue to do it, go ahead, just do it.
Well, the one thing I don't mind seeing...
And then if one learns a lesson, they'd be like, hey, look, we might need to stop saying
the one thing I don't mind
seeing it didn't work
is like the kickers. Like if they were like the female, like the one that she plays on Vanderbilt, she was like the kicker. Like I don't mind seeing. I mean, a kicker's a kicker. Like you could get clocked, but
because they have that in high school.
Like that thing. Like, but I wouldn't say anything past like kicking.
All right. So with that said, right, what about the money, right? The money aspect of it. One of the pictures I see on social media all the time is they'll have a picture of, it's a female basketball player and it's a male basketball. The male basketball is LeBron James, and I forget who the female basketball player is, but they're talking about they've been in the league, their individual respective leagues for the same amount of time. They have the same amount of championships. One has made like $25 million. One has made like $250,000.
Man, I got a good one for that. So I shared that with a buddy of mine, and he said, because he's an athlete as well, he said, look, at this point now, does women go to WNBA basketball games? And I was like, ouch. I said,
But I mean,
didn't think about that. I didn't think about that,
it's a
though.
market where it's driven by the consumer, right? Everyone that sits here, yes. How many WNBA games have you sat down and you actually watched?
And that's what they're saying.
Now, my opinion, WNBA season is so quick. Like, it'd be like, WNBA season starting, WNBA championship.
It's probably more women in the world than it is men. So it's like, go. What did he say? He said, did women ever go to a WNBA game? At this point now, you got to pour money into what you're trying to fight for instead of just always saying, well, why not? Well, when's the last time you've been to a WNBA basketball game? You probably been to an NBA basketball game, but have you been to? And the sad thing is, not all women are sports fans. I mean, how many times do you see? You know, I'm going to a football game. I don't feel like going. You know, and I'm not saying for all, but some women they're not huge on like basketball or just most sports, so they're not going to even go to a basketball game, a male's basketball game. Again, I mean, we keep on saying revenue, but they got to start pouring into,
correct.
That's all. And then
it's outside of the WNBA. A lot of times, WNBA franchises are funded by NBA franchises. And it's all about what that market is willing to put into it. You know, it's more than just the NBA. It's also the endorsement, things of that nature. But I mean, in my opinion, it's just at the end of the day, it will never truly be equal in pay because you're not bringing in the same revenue that the male version of the sport is. So you're never going to get the same amount. You know,
we gotta have like a collegiate or a pro WNBA player come in or something like shit. I got like at this point now, we just gotta hear from them and like what's their thoughts on it. That would be pretty cool. But we almost out of time.
Yes, so that is our topic for this week. Definitely amazing. Had a good time, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Yeah. The way these digging talk is irrelevant. I heel kick Troy's Achilles, and I shoot like Legolas and fly around Earth on Pegasus. The throne is for the taking, so I'm sending these messages. No belligerent talk, the cup is half full with a measurement. The way I'm work these bars, and it's like I had a regimen. The boy rock solid like sediment. 10 years till they see the legacy. I don't like bygones be bygones, cause by the end the time's gone. New to the game like Zion. One push of a button.
I was born for the trouble that you're going to have that you ain't even got to yet. This is why relationships are so funny, because there's something that's going to happen in my life that Sydney was born for, because that's my brother. Oh my God. That means next week when somebody's calling you and they're saying, I hate to bother you, but I'm going to stop. I was born for this. Yeah. What's going on? There's nothing you can tell me that's going to shake me because I was born. Yeah.
All right, welcome back to our Smooth Club. So our guest this evening is a couple I've actually known for quite some time. They were guests at my first ever launch party for Rugged Evolution Beard Care.
Awesome,
around 2017, and I was a fangirl when I first saw them because I used to listen to them on the radio. They used to appear on this morning show called the Danny Myers Show, I believe like once or twice a week. They had a segment called Advice from the Jackson, and I was a single dude, but I'm listening like, this is awesome. And I just listened to how much fun they had, all the laughter. It was an awesome show. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to, meet them someday. And I was privileged and honored to have them again as guests at my launch. And ever since then, every time I come in contact with them, embrace them with a hug. It's always good to see them. Awesome people, funny TED talkers, teachers, relationship experts. They've spoken everywhere. They have an awesome podcast called The Inconvenient Truth with Sharice and Early. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love to Sharice and Early Jackson.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
So how's everything been going since starting from the pandemic to now? Like, what have you guys been up to?
I got COVID fatigue, man. I'm ready. I'm predicting that at least one decent concert in Norfolk somewhere this summer.
And this year. So let's get right to it. Vaccine. What do you think? Have you gotten it? Is it like one of them things? Or?
I got it.
Oh, you've already got it. Both shots.
Both
fully
shots.
vaccinated. Okay, very nice. I'm one shot in.
I got my second shot about an hour ago, and I.
Oh, okay. Hold up.
I think it's. No, I'm just messing.
just start slowing up. That's slowing up.
It's fine.
That might actually help ratings. I don't know if he would.
You gotta actually fall out though. You gotta do the full. You're gonna fall. But yeah, I mean that's one of the things that people say they want to get back to normal. First of all, what is normal?
Right. What is
right? And then what are you willing to do to get back to normal? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't bring this international pandemic in and then overnight it's gonna be over. Even though some people that were in power made us believe that it was just gonna be an overnight thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as we kind of transition, like what are some things y'all want to get back to?
Wow.
Well, first of all, normal is something that's overrated.
It is.
So, I think that we have to always be in a position, I think just as people, we should always be in a position to look for a new normal.
Correct.
And when you think about if normal worked, we wouldn't be where we are. So, it was normal that got us here. So,
she come out
let's
swinging.
look forward to something different. We're going to have like fragments of the same, but it's not going to be normal. And with the whole, people saying, hey, I want to get back to normal. You don't want to get vaccinated, but you don't want to wear the mask. So,
but when they first started with the whole shutdown, for the first 3 months, people were like, "Oh, I can do this." But when they got to 6, they like, "All right, let me out."
Now, let me say this, Aaron. I'm a homebody. Like, I'm the most extroverted introvert you'll ever meet. Like, she'll leave the house 6 hours and come back, and I'm sitting in the same spot, no TV on, just sitting there. She's like, "What you been doing?" None.
Did you lose weight?
It depends on that. But so
he depends on what he wants to happen when I come back.
See, there you go. But after probably about June, July, I was like, okay. All right, this is getting a little old. I'd like to at least have the option to say I don't want to go.
That's what I was
Or make up an excuse not to go.
Even with extroverts, like you said, you're comfortable, but when you want to be able to maneuver, you want to be able to maneuver.
Exactly. Exactly.
And for me in 2020 was a very kind of tumultuous year to begin with. I retired from 22 years of military service.
Thank you for your service. What branch?
And he's
Navy.
And I'm only 25 years old.
Army guy. I'm an Army guy. I won't hold that against you.
When I first walked in, I was like,
oh yeah.
But
y'all play on boats. It's all good.
Hold on. Football games, but anyway,
where's my bell? That's the round. That is the first round.
But you know what? Y'all actually won the last Army Navy game. I will give y'all that.
2-40.
Yes, that was a. We'll blame it on COVID. We'll blame it on COVID. Everything goes towards COVID. But the biggest thing for me was literally leaving that safety blanket of a job, and I'm going into business ownership. Wow. And also a international pandemic. How do you kind of operate? And then the one thing, and I talk to Arrington, me and him talk business all the time, and I'm just like, first and foremost, when you're in business, it's a lot different than I want to get into business. But once you're in it, that's when you truly are learning. Yeah. People will say, do you have any questions? Well, I don't know what the base of my questions are because I've never been in that environment.
Right.
So now I have those questions, right? And so for me, having to navigate that, and then also, like you said, we want to get back to normal. Well, do we really? Because even on top of what it was, we just had this, election in 2020 and all these different things, and we had the insurrection, right? And is that the norm we want to get back to? Is that the thing we want to get back to? Because I'll tell you one thing, in my opinion, what happened in that last administration, it exposed things that were already there, right? But we have been just kind of scooting around, and these next 4 years, where do y'all see us kind of going, right? Based off of what we've seen so far, you know what I'm saying?
I think I'm going to cut you off. Luke, you said the last administration brought up something that we already knew.
That was already here.
But which group already knew? I think it was another group that had said, "Oh my goodness, I'm just saying because I'm thinking of George Floyd. I'm just thinking that look at that whole march. It was a melting pot of people. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. I think that it was divine strategy that all of this happened in 2020. Because nobody had anything else to tune away to.
Exactly. You had to look at it.
Our distractions were stripped away, and we spent the greater part of 2020 having some really uncomfortable conversations with people who were close to us.
They were comfortable for me. But.
You know, well, I'd say uncomfortable for them. And it gave way to a lot of questions being answered, but it also revealed some things. Now, we'd be crazy to see what we saw and go back to normal now. I think that we have, the onus is on us to hold accountable to what we saw and refuse to go back to normal, because as Sharice just said, normal is what got us where we were.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had wishful thinking, especially for our community.
Yeah.
That, you know, things were on the rise and things had gotten better, you know, but...
We did have Barack, right? We got 8 years of Barack Obama.
We had him. But you know what? The
problem solved, right?
No, the first 4 years...
That's what a lot of people think, though.
But the first 4 years, they could tolerate that. But when he got a second term, they were going to lose their mind. So, you know...
It got ugly.
They couldn't believe
it got
that.
ugly quick.
This when we went back to the Boondocks with Huey and Riley, you know, they just...
It's absolute truth. I know when Dap mentioned more about the pandemic in 2020, you know, as a business owner, for me, and I tell all my friends, it was a good year for me. As far as like, to me, it was just an added challenge. You gotta be creative. That's why I had to get creative with it. Just like with the Zoom, movement.
Yeah.
I mean, Zoom was a huge.
I think Zoom happened to have something with that pandemic. How does Zoom just happen to be?
I know.
A little too coincidental.
Like Zoom blew up. You know.
Well, before that they had Skype, which was really Skype was basically
No,
the
but
same as.
Skype wasn't the same level. You weren't really doing meetings on Skype. Skype was like a platform for families that have talks,
interviews,
Zoom,
or one-on-one meetings.
Correct.
Yeah.
Zoom was the platform where we're going to have a whole office have the ability to come up, a whole classroom. Like, you know, 5 years ago, this was not around.
Right.
You know, and
I think what was dope about it was for us as coaches, because our main business is coaching and training and things like that. We almost didn't miss a beat. It was like, boom, here's what we need to do. And it actually made us more accessible.
Yeah, it opened doors.
You know, because now I'm not running here. Okay, I got to be in Ohio next week and then back and try to do this in Virginia Beach. I can do it all from my living room, you know, and just dress from the waist up.
Well, and that's the fortunate part. For
why is that a thing?
I don't know.
All of a sudden you're in your home and you just can't wear pants? Like, what's going on?
Nah. This is pants free, man.
But again, that was a privilege. Like for me, my business is mostly an e-commerce site. We're sold in local owned stores in Hampton Roads, so the brick and mortar took a hit. But I mean, we were on multiple different sites. We were still functioning, and on top of that, I was moving offices during this whole pandemic. I moved in March just to do a bigger and better space. And I mean, it was a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, I was nervous because I'm like, man, in-person events, like, some vending shows I like to, I'll go to in Atlanta, like, once or twice a week. Couldn't do that because of the travel. And I'm like, man, you got to keep on getting creative. On getting creative. So it was definitely an eye opener. But I mean, again, we here today, breathing, we live. It's just, you always got to be grateful for that. But I want to ask this quick question about, your podcast, The Inconvenient Truth. I want to ask, one of the topics you guys were discussing was, y'all really talk about everything, but I'll start off first, cancel culture. What is your thoughts on just the whole cancel culture movement? Do you agree with us in between? Like, I'll let you
the cancel culture is what it is, and it's always been around. But for me, a lot of the things that we call cancel culture is just accountability. That people should have had a long time ago. So, if you're going to be in the public eye, or if you're going to be on any type of platform, hey, you get the money, but you got to also be careful what you do, what you support. And if you're going to support stuff, or you have to be willing to deal with the consequences of it. Like even for me, some of the things that I said, because regardless of anything, and I know how people think, especially, Christians, I'm black, and I am going to speak up for my people. That's what it is.
She's an advocate.
So I've gotten, I've gotten counsel from people, because other Christians of other persuasions are like, so you just going to say that? Hey, you a Christian first. Sorry. I was black before I was any of that, and I'm going to be black. And for real, when I see things that are, injustices, for real, I don't know what God you serve. What would Jesus do? You say you've been doing that forever.
And like for me, I like to be the jokester. I think I'm funny. Everybody don't think but like, I love comedy. I love one of my all-time. Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac. Those are my top two funny.
Come on.
they will probably be the most highest ones to get canceled. I mean, just saying with
absolutely.
everything. I
Yeah.
personally think comedians should have. I think they should have the license to, you know.
They should have a pass.
'Cause
But they always did before. And
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, they still have it.
A
You
lot of
just
them
got to be
still
willing
have
to
it.
deal with, like Dave
Correct,
Chappelle.
the backlash.
Dave
Yeah,
Chappelle
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
care
yeah.
less if you cancel him. He said, you know what? I'll go to a yard in my small town and I'll put out
Correct.
chairs and get a camera and do my own comedy set.
He did walk away from $50 million to go to Africa.
Yeah, we
so.
Right,
say
right,
the term cancel culture, but like we were talking before we came on camera, like what is canceling? You unfollow me on social media? Like that's not. People think that social media is the only platform. There's so
Right.
many platforms right now, and people have gotten away from the face to face. You know what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle came up in a time where we didn't have all this social media. You know, he had one of the best. And you know, probably most anticipated television shows.
Absolutely.
And he chose to cancel it
Yes.
because he didn't like the agreement that was in front of him and what was obligated of him, right? So then the question, kind of a follow-up question, right? Once we quote unquote cancel these people, do we forget their contributions? Do we forget what they've given us? I.e., you know, the Michael Jacksons, the
Bill Cosby.
you know, the Bill Cosbys.
I
You
was
know what I'm
gonna go
saying?
there, yeah.
Do we just throw all their stuff away and act like it never existed? We
Absolutely
can't.
not.
We
Absolutely
cannot.
not.
You know.
I think what society does is because we're in this moment by moment desire, we're on the edge of our seats in anticipation. What's happening right now? Like we've been on.
What's the most? You know, what's happening right now? What are we talking about right now?
Right, we've been recording now for several minutes, and some people will be burning because what's going on Twitter, what's going on on Instagram or whatever. But those moments can overshadow greater times of contribution. Like Bill Cosby, we're from Philadelphia, so Bill Cosby has been an icon in our community. I mean, he's entrenched in the DNA of what Philadelphia is all about.
Right.
So what he did, people say, well, can you support him after what he did? I mean, that'd be crude, but he didn't do it to me. And you know what I'm saying? And honestly, when I look at it, if he did that, there are people who deserve redemption. So if we talk about canceling, I think we need to zoom out and say, okay, if we're talking about corporations and community, how do we hold people accountable, but not throw them away like they're garbage
Well,
either?
with Bill Cosby, he doesn't need to be canceled because he's already dealing with the consequences. He's behind bars.
That's correct.
So cancel culture really should be focused on the people who have no accountability. I mean,
Exactly, that's
Cosby
good.
was forced into accountability, you know,
He's
whether he
been
wanted to or
fired
not.
And you know
She
what?
do, she
The
do,
even
man.
crazier thing is why was he forced into that cancel, right? So people said that what he was doing, he'd been doing for years.
Yep.
Right, but it did not come to the light until he was getting ready to purchase a major television network. Right, he was going to make a huge financial gain, and he may have ruffled some feathers. And all of a sudden, oh, remember that one time? And then all of a sudden, it all came out. Right. Again, I'm not knocking what he did, but it's just always funny to me the timing.
Well, it's just like,
Of
it's
these
just like the
things,
quarterback
right?
of the Texans, Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun
Now,
Watson,
still out of the
exactly.
issues, But all
Right?
of a sudden, when he wants out in Houston, now 21
Correct.
people come out as.
And what do
And
you
it's
do
nothing
with
criminal. It's all
allegations?
civil.
Yeah,
So it's
it's all
money.
civil.
It's not a criminal case. You know.
And what do you do with allegations? How do we hold space for the truth to come out? Because once I make the allegation against you, Arrington, whether it's real or not, the damage has been done. And how do you
Correct.
quantify?
And that's in the social media age.
Exactly.
Right?
The
Yeah.
digital
Where
damage has been
everything,
done.
the public is judging you before anything true has
Yep.
happened.
Public opinion,
Again,
And truth be told, if any of us, if YouTube was out with any of us, well, some of us in the room, YouTube was out when we were younger. But there might be some Polaroids on the West Coast that still got me in the but if those platforms were out, who among us in this room would still maybe have the platform that
and
we
even the
have?
celebrities, you know what I'm saying? But overall, yes, I really thank y'all for y'all, you know, kind of contribution to the show today. And overall, you know, as we kind of move towards, you know, our next portion, how do we get a hold of y'all and what do y'all have coming up?
Well, look, I want real quick. I want to do a quick
Sir,
game.
yes, sir.
Okay.
You got 60 seconds. Okay. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one. Okay. Ready, set, go. Okay. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Nike.
Fedoras or Kangos?
Fedoras.
All right. Fresh Prince or Martin?
Martin.
Okay.
Gotta go with
I
Martin.
feel like this is a challenge between us.
Okay. Eddie Murphy or Chris Rock?
Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
You better have said that.
Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Either way, I just
Over.
need it. I don't care.
Okay.
As long as it's there.
All right. Very last one we gotta go. Okay. New Edition or Boys to Men?
New edition.
New edition.
So where can we find you guys?
Have we been canceled because of Ryan?
And look at that, you got about 15 seconds. I'm already trying to cancel it. My bad. Okay. I mean, we still got time. So, Blockbuster or Netflix?
Netflix.
Okay. Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Chicken.
Okay. What? Okay. Will Smith or Jamie Foxx?
Will.
Okay.
That's right, anime. You better have it right.
All right.
So where can you find us? Our social media is early@_empowers. That's EARLY, just like early in the morning, _empowers. And
I empower. So at capital I _ capital M, capital P, OWER, because I empower. That's what I do.
Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, I first of all just want to thank you guys for coming. This is not. Please come again, more and more and more. Please check out their podcast, The Inconvenient Truth with Sharice and Shirley. Is on.
Sharice and Shirley.
Yeah.
My bad,
Shirley.
Got me right. I'm good.
Sharice and Early. On Spotify,
Anchor.
Apple, and on Anchor.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much.
Yes,
Thanks for having us.
Man, thank you.
Look, all the style, I feel like I'm
Yes,
definitely not
yes.
dressed the right
She
way.
always copies me.
man.
I can't have nothing for myself.
You know what? You know what? We've been married a minute. You got to pick and choose. So if it means doing this, okay.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Your best dress today.
Well, look, y'all. Those are the earlies. We will be right back with our Smooth Club.
Dapper Luke Collection is a full custom clothier located in Virginia Beach. Our goal is to give you a full custom experience. Follow us and schedule your appointment at dapperluke.com. Let us create your perfect custom look for your perfect wedding, prom, graduation, or anniversary.
Oh, well, guys, we just wrapped up season 2, the first episode of season 2. I'm so hyped of what we have going on for the rest of the season. Again, we got guests, we got great new discussions, new set. I'm so hyped. So, look, I just want to make a toast to Luke. JJ, I just want to make a toast to an amazing season premiere of season 2 of our Smooth Club, the show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the like button. Check us out on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all major podcast platforms. Also follow us on our Instagram page, r_smooth_club_podcast. Y'all take care. See you then. So good.
And guess what you did? Guess what you did when you ended it? Those are the earlies. How often do